He's done it. The Michigan goal in the first period. For the Williams. Run. Pelfy scores. Pelfy hits it.
And welcome back to the podcast. My name is always Derik Clark here on Bulls Bitten with Derik Clark. This is episode 7, 8, one of the two. One of those two numbers, 7 or 8, I don't know. But welcome back to the podcast. My name is always Derik Clark. And it's been a unique week around the sports world. And let's get right into it, I guess. That uniqueness comes with Aric Almirola in the racing world to start our week off here on the podcast. He made his debut back in the Xfinity Series after a month of disappearance after his unique situation with Bubba Wallace, that feud they had in a drivers' meeting with the 2311 team and the Joe Gibbs team, since they both drive. All the Toyota teams met, and during one of those meetings, Bubba Wallace and Aric Almirola got in a little bit of a feud. Aric Almirola was deemed the instigator, kicked out of the car in the Xfinity Series for a month. He made his debut, his debut return back yesterday in the Xfinity race. He finished somewhere in the top 10. I think it was 7th, I believe. The Xfinity race winner was none other than Riley Herbst, who is rumored to be in one of the new Haas cars in the Xfinity Series. That is a rumor and not yet confirmed, so I will not talk about it as my air conditioner turns on right next to me, and I have to turn it off. I forgot to hit the power button. We're going to keep rolling. Anyway, in all seriousness, uniqueness out of there. One thing that was confirmed, the Haas factory team that is going to be coming out of replacing the Stewart-Haas team. It'll just be Haas that owns the team. Tony Stewart's leaving that organization, so it will just be called Haas Factory Team, or HFT. Haas Factory Team's one cup car will be drove by someone who does definitely deserve it. It is Cole Custer. He was out of the Stewart-Haas team 2 years ago, and in last year and this year being those 2 years, he's the reigning Xfinity Series champion, and honestly, he could repeat. That's how good he is in the Xfinity Series. The truck race was won by Ty Majeski. That was his first win of the year. He's only the 5th different driver to win so far in the truck series. Over there in good old St. Louis, Missouri. Well, Indianapolis Indianapolis Motor Speedway is where the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series is. The Truck Series and the ARCA Series ran in the track that's in the center of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They ran in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Raceway Park, which is the 1.5 mile that's inside the 2.5 mile track. A lot of craziness going on over there with the ARCA and the Truck Series. But that is so far the news in the NASCAR world. The Cup Series races today. We'll eventually get that. The F1 race is currently on. Oscar Piastri is leading and looks like he will win his first race in F1 history, unless some crazy stuff happens. There's about 20 laps to go in that standpoint. There was a rumor, and it was confirmed to be false. The San Jose Sharks were rumored to be looking for relocation. I knew for a fact that was false, and it was reported eventually that it was false. That team has been in San Jose. Even though it's hockey, it's been in San Jose for over 30 years, and the team is beloved in the good old city of San Jose, California. Other hockey news, kinda. We're getting to that weird point in the hockey world where nothing's happening, but stuff is happening. Some camps are going on in the hockey world, and that's really about it. In the football world, the camps are really ramping up. There's certain guys getting going. The Jags released new uniforms, which were very mid. I will have a video out about I'll have a short / TikTok out eventually about the Jags uniforms. I will also have another uniform video coming out in the minor league hockey world, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But these Jag unis, it brings back to the 90s logo. Remember the one that Jaguar, the car brand, was like, whoa, and Jaguar was all crazy and stuff, so they were going to sue them, so they had to change it and all that other stuff. well, that's on the jersey again, and it's still the same, colors of the Jags. It's a unique jersey. People are going crazy. I read comments. It's the best jerseys in NFL history. I was like, "You're capping," but because that is not. It was a kind of a middle of the road basic jersey. It's clean. It's good. It's a 6.5 out of 10. There's nothing too crazy. There's nothing too bad. It's a good jersey, and people were just going crazy about them. And to be honest, they're a good jersey in the football sense. But in the jersey world, we continue, but in the minor leagues, the ECHL, the AA league affiliation league with the NHL. It goes the NHL, then the AAA being the AHL, then the AA being the ECHL, and then all that fun stuff. There's a new team. It's in Lake Tahoe. They're going to be affiliated, obviously, with Vegas. It will go NHL Vegas Golden Knights. AHL is the Henderson Silver Knights, which is Henderson, Nevada. And then Lake Tahoe. We're still in Nevada. They'll be in the ECHL. It's the Lake Tahoe Knight Monsters, and Knight as in like knight in shining armor. They released their home, away, and alternate jersey the other day. I will make another video on those jerseys because let me tell you something. For a minor league team to drop the cleanest jerseys I've seen in a while is crazy. They are clean, pristine, and look like they're going to be a fighting machine. Their mascot is literally a dragon wearing knight armor. It's a whole amazing freaking ordeal going over there in Lake Tahoe. So, looks like it's going to be a sick team in the ECHL, to say the least. There are some amazing brandings in the ECHL. If you want to see some cool hockey jerseys, go over to the ECHL. They got Nickelodeon as a sponsor. They got Nickelodeon Knights. They got Marvel as a sponsor. So there's Marvel Knights where they wear Marvel jerseys, Nickelodeon themed jerseys. There's nights where they wear all kind of themed jerseys. But the main jerseys are even crazier. Some of the, if you're going for a classic look, you look at the Maine Mariners. Play over in Portland, Maine. They have like an 80s almost look to their jerseys, and they are very clean. Another good-looking jersey in the ECHL. Man, there's so many. You know what? I'll give a big shout out to the Reading Royals. I thought they have some unique ones over there. There's two teams that haven't played each other in a while. I've been waiting for them to see each other play. The Wichita Thunder and the Adirondack Thunder, who are in Adirondack, New York, and Wichita, Kansas. They're both called the Thunder, and I have a Wichita Thunder jersey because I have some family down there in Wichita. And the Thunder have a unique hammer Thunder logo, and the Thunder have more of a Viking, almost Thunder God looking man as their logo. And both have clean jerseys. ECHL as a whole, man, there's some jerseys that they're just amazing. There's a team. They only have one Canadian team left. The Newfoundland Growlers folded over there in Newfoundland and Canada. Shout out to Newfoundland. I'm sorry that your team had to fold. But the Tres River Lions, which means Three River, over in Quebec. Or not Quebec, oh my gosh. Over in Montreal. Or no, yeah, I'm sorry. They're near Montreal. They're affiliated with the Montreal Canadiens and the Laval Rockets. They're over there in that area of the province of Quebec. And they have some slick jerseys as well. The Tres River Lions. Look them up. Pretty dope. And that's my French accent. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. But yeah, the ECHL as a whole has some sick jerseys. We had an ECHL team here in Elmira from 2000 to 2017, the Elmira Jackals. They had some sick jerseys as well. Now we have this NAHL team, which is the Elmira Aviators. Their first year is coming up this next season, and I will be on my college campus working my college team, so I won't be able to watch those guys. But we have some guys that play in the NAHL. It's a junior league, and it's a pretty good junior league. So, all in all, some unique hockey sense to go around in the world of hockey. Out of the hockey world, we shall jump into the basketball world. South Sudan somehow in some way lost, but almost beat Team USA. I thought they did when I first read it. Final score was Team USA 101, South Sudan 100. It was a friendly before the Olympics, which start on July 26th. And I've been watching this basketball because basketball, you got LeBron, you got Steph Curry, you got Adebayo, you got freaking Anthony Edwards, freaking Joel Embiid's on there, True Holiday. Dude, there's all 12 people that can physically touch the court, okay? are, and I quote, literal starters in the NBA. They're literally the biggest names, and they almost lose to South Sudan. I couldn't tell if they were just joking around, so they didn't care as much, or they were trying to play as hard. I don't know. Team USA though, we need to win this. We have 4 straight gold medals in basketball. We got to win it. It's our sport. It's our sport, boys. Get your heads in the game. You got the win. Shouldn't have had your teeth scraping at the end, and you shouldn't have only won by 1 point, but it is what it is. 101-100 USA over South Sudan in a basketball friendly before the start of the 2024 Summer Olympics. I watched a little bit of the Tour de France. That's a little bit of a different sport that I kind of get into. We used to watch it every morning, get up at 8 a.m., me and my brother, because there's always a big crash. There's always crashes and craziness, and it's always fun to watch. But they've been on Peacock this year. It's mostly on Peacock, and it really sucks because we have Peacock, but I mean, I'm not getting up at 8 a.m. to turn on my phone and watch it on my phone because I don't have, we don't really work like that in my household. So it's a whole thing. So I haven't been watching it as much. But I watched it the other day and the day before that, and literally yesterday I watched a little bit of it too. The Tour de France is freaking nuts, dude. If you want to watch some crazy dudes ride a bike and wreck and face plant into the ground, I recommend the Tour de France, which is almost ending, actually. I think they're on their, towards the end of the stage. It started on it's July 21st. They start July 1st. And there's 26 stages, so they are getting towards the end. It's the 21st, so they're on the 21st stage, or they just finished the 21st stage because they start at 8 a.m., so they might be actually still. I don't know how long some stages are only 2 hours, other stages are like 3 hours. So I don't know how long today's stage is, but they are currently probably in the middle of it or towards the end of it. So shout out to all the dudes riding in the Tour de France. It's a freaking melee of a freaking race. If you want to watch some crazy dudes, like I said, faceplant into the ground, their tires blow, and the cars that are their pit crew teams have to drive behind and pick them up. And man, I remember this one guy broke his handlebars, and they didn't have a spare bike, so he just rode with broken handlebars. You want to see some fist fights at the end? You want to see this crazy stuff? I recommend watching the Tour de France. And there's some big names in Tour de France, but in all seriousness, I do recommend the Tour de France. Well, I don't know what else to really tell you, folks. There's some crazy, crazy, crazy things going on. Travis Kelce is still torn with his Taylor Swift gal, which I heard there's a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I just saw it that she wants to propose with him and blah, blah, blah. It's like, who cares? Because I don't care. I'm not into all that. But at least Travis Kelce is living his best life. Speaking of which, unique thing coming out with the Mannings. Peyton Manning was stated that C.J. Stroud is one of the quarterbacks like himself, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, who have the fourth quarterback sense, which means that I don't know. I don't know what that means. In other words, I guess that means he's a special kid when it comes to the quarterback position. So I don't know how to put that into words exactly, but that's what he stated. I don't know how you're going to take that, folks, but it is what it is. The PLL, which is the Premier Lacrosse League, I know I'm kind of rambling here. They had a throwback weekend, and they have all these throwback logos. I think I might have touched on it in the last podcast. I don't think I did. So that's why I'm trying to bring it up here. They bring up these old logos. They made these old logos because the PLL came out in 2018. It's a pro lacrosse league. It's the biggest pro lacrosse league. They tour around the country playing lacrosse. It's not a one where you have a hometown. It's you go to different cities and play games on the weekends, and it's huge. And they had like a throwback theme where like this year they made logos based in the 80s, I think it was. And it was cool because obviously the league didn't exist in the 80s, but what if these teams existed in the 80s? I think the Boston Cannons are actually the oldest team. The Boston Cannons obviously they play in Boston, but they joined the league from a different league, and I think they came out in the 90s. I think they're the oldest team. in the league. I don't know how that exactly works, but they made these sick logos, and it was a whole brand thing. I recommend checking them out. Very cool. The Maryland Whip Snakes logo. It's an M with a weird snake thing. The water dogs, bro. Big freaking Philadelphia Water Dogs. Dope logo. Big, huge Dalmatian. I think no, not Dalmatian. Almost looks like a coon dog almost, but running around. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But that is really it when it comes to the logo side of that, I guess. But it is pretty unique. I recommend everybody go look at it and have a little glimpse of it. The jerseys were pretty nice, and PLL all around is ran pretty professionally and pretty dang good as well. Okay, guys, we just had to stop a minute of recording because there was about 5 laps left of the F1 race, and I had to get him in. Shout out to Oscar Piastri, his first win in F1 history, but without some little bit of a controversy. The win comes after the fact that his teammate in Lando Norris was forced to give up that spot. There's also more drama with Max Verstappen, who hit Hamilton and ramped and hit the wall. He had to go meet with the stewards after the race. Looks like he could be facing major penalty, dropping him from his finished place of 5th to possibly 7th, or even lower, depending on the penalty. But Lando Norris just dumped water onto Oscar Piastri, then walked off the podium. He was not okay with it. Lando Norris is currently 2nd place when it comes to the driver championship in F1, and if he won the race, he'd be closer in points to Max Verstappen, who is leading. But they wanted him to give up the spot to Oscar because Oscar was leading most of the race. A good portion, about 80% of the race was led by Oscar Piastri today. And he didn't want to give it up, but he gave it up because he followed team orders. And the way it was worded, the way he talked around the questions after the race in the post-race interview about the situation. But to me, it sounds like he's not mad at Oscar. It sounds like he's not mad at, basically his teammate. And he's not mad at the people that work within the team. He's mad at their team principal and their main head dudes that told him to move over. Because I will stand with Lando Norris and state that man was not only faster and was the fastest car of the race today, but he should have won to be even more closer to Max Verstappen when it comes to driver points. But it is what it is. I thought I'd pause the podcast and just watch it and see what happens. And of course, crazy stuff was bound to happen, as I have to control the gain here for some reason. The mic is spiking like crazy in my ears. I hope you guys don't get affected by that. I'll try to fix it as best as I can after this. But all in all, that's really much what happened at the F1 race today. Max wrecked into the wall, got back on the track. They're all about penalties because it was clearly a dangerous wreck. But also, he didn't lose a position, so it's a whole thing, and blah, 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 all that blah, blah, blah that comes out of the racing world when stuff like that happens. Speaking of the racing world, we're going to get towards the end of this podcast. We're getting towards the end. It's going to be a shorter one this week. I know I've been posting these 20, 25, 30-minute podcasts, and they're not that long, but this because the sports world right now is not a lot. Don't worry, I'm going to get a guest eventually on here. My brother will eventually join this podcast in the coming weeks, hopefully. He's busy working on his company and stuff and getting stuff done, and we're building the race car a little bit. Just got the pieces out and trying to figure all that fun stuff out. So we'll eventually, with the craziness that is this house, eventually have him on. He'll be the first guest, hopefully, before I head back to campus, where then we'll have all kinds of people on, and I have to bring this stuff with me, which is always fun. But I hope you guys, before we end it, we'll talk about the NASCAR race and who I think should win, and then we'll come back next weekend and see if Derik was right. I didn't get to watch qualifying as much for the Cup Series. I should have paid more attention, but the guy I really want to see, and the guy that I thought had a good car, was Todd Gilliland. He's been really good the last few weeks. He has never won. He's a young guy in a not-so-good car, but he's had that car in good spots. I'd love to see Todd win. It probably won't be him. William Byron could be up there. Kyle Larson's going to probably be up there. Alex Bowman's going crazy ever since that win in Chicago a few weeks ago, so he's probably going to be up there. those guys that have been up there. Danny Hamlin, he was going pretty fast in qualifying. I got to see him in qualifying. He was going pretty good. So, all in all, some crazy stuff going on in the racing world. Well, guys, that will do it for me. I was Derik Clark here on Bullspin with Clark. Yeah, guys, hope you guys have a great week. Whoever you are, wherever you are, just have a blessed week. Have a good week. And remember to always follow your heart. Until next time, guys, Derik Clark, a.k.a. Mini Doc. Peace.